Hi everyone, welcome to the Sew Essential vlog. I'm Lucy and I'm here today to talk to you about the Liberty sewing pattern range. So you've heard of Liberty fabrics, they've been around forever, held in very high regard in the sewing world, and it was probably late last year or early this year, I can't remember, so much has happened since then, but they brought out a new sewing pattern range which we got straight on the site, but I haven't had a chance to talk to you about them yet, so I'm here to showcase those to you today. There are 5 women's patterns and then 2 children's patterns, and I've also picked out some gorgeous new fabrics that are on our site that I would pair them with, so lots and lots of inspiration and ideas and new things to show you today, which is all very exciting. As always, the links to everything I talk about today will be below. You'll find a link to our website and all the products I talked to you about. So yeah, it's going to be a goodie today. I'm excited to share these with you. Before I get started, I'll just quickly show you what I'm wearing because I've just finished this recently. It's McCall's 8041, a simple blouse pattern with a collar and a button down front and then little buttons on the cuffs. So I made it in our polka dot fabric, which is fantastic because it doesn't need ironing, which is always a winner in my book. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing today. I'll do a makes video where I talk to you about it in more detail, but I really love this pattern. Fantastic make, very easy, very satisfying. So let's get on with the Liberty patterns though. So the first one I want to talk to you about is just absolutely gorgeous and it's totally on my to make list. I will make this shirt at some point. It's the Thea Boho sleeve shirt. So it's just, just everything about this shirt I love. So it's got a yoke across the back and the yokes come onto the front as well. I'm not sure if it's like an all-in-one yoke or if it's a separate shoulder piece and back piece. There are little gathers underneath the yokes at the front and at the back, and I always like a gather or a pleat here under a yoke, so I just think it's a nice interesting design detail. It creates nice shape around the bust, it's just very flattering. There's options for a grandad collar or a more standard pointed collar. There's necktie options, but this pattern is all about the sleeves, so there's so many sleeve options. There's an option for a really dramatic tiered ruffle sleeve, which I just think is to die for and would be like, you just feel amazing walking into a restaurant when we can do that again, you know, with these beautiful voluminous sleeves and, you know, a pair of simple classic trousers and heels. I think it would just have such wow factor. There's also an option for a short sleeve or a balloon sleeve, which comes into a really deep cuff and is gathered at the cuff. And then there's suggestions and options for embellishment as well. So there's lots of different views and options to mix and match. You can have a lot of fun with this. I think you can create a really dramatic, impactful blouse that would feel very special and is probably completely different to anything that you'd find in the shops, which is what sewing is all about. Am I right or am I right? So yeah, it's just a really lovely blouse with lots and lots of different options. Size wise, these patterns come in at 6 to a 22. The 6, these are in centimetres because they're made in Italy, so it's a European system rather than inches. But the size 6 is a 77 centimetre bust, 58 centimetre waist and an 83 centimetre hip, and the 22 is 112 centimetre bust, 94 centimetre waist and 117 centimetre hip. Now I'm pretty sure they're all that standard size range, however one of the patterns, the Bella tea dress, comes in a small size and a large size. I think the small is 6 to 14 and the large is 14 to 22, so just check the details if you're ordering the patterns, just make sure with those sizes. But the fabrics it suggests for the Thea Boho sleeve shirt are cotton, silk or linen. They don't seem to provide a great deal of detail on the fabric types on the Liberty patterns, but that's okay. You know, you can get an idea from looking at the pattern what sort of fabrics would work well. I would add viscose, rayons, crepes, those sorts of fabrics to that list. And I've chosen a viscose fabric, this lovely pretty ditzy print fabric, which is a viscose Let's just have a look. Viscose soft chalet lawn. So it's super soft. It's got lots of drape and movement. I think it would hang beautifully and work really well for all those pretty feminine details I've just talked you through. And the ditzy print is bang on trend for this season as well. They've been really, really big this summer. So that would be my fabric of choice. Although you could also use the one that I'm going to talk about for the next pattern, which is a polyester crepe, and I think this would work really well as well if you're not into ditsies or florals. This is more like a sort of abstracty animal print type pattern. I think this was actually on the sewing bee in one of the early episodes. I seem to remember seeing it, but I love the colour combos on this fabric, and again it's that lovely soft, silky soft handle. I think it would make up really well into that blouse. But I also was going to suggest this fabric for the next pattern, which is the Beatrix maxi dress. So there's two options with this dress. Both have an empire waist. They've both got a plunging neckline. They've both got bust darts that come up from the waist. They've also both got shoulder darts on the back, which personally I add those in sometimes because I've got high round back and forward shoulders. My shoulder blades are quite protruding, and putting a little dart in at the shoulder just creates a little bit more room and movement in the shoulder area, and it does enable you to get a really good fit round there as well. So I think that's quite a nice little feature. They've both got a waist tie at the back, so you just tie it into a little bow, which is very pretty. There's a version with long sleeves where the sleeves are gathered into a narrow cuff. And then there's also a sleeveless version as well. It looks like the neckline and the armholes on the sleeveless version are finished with the bias tape, or you could create your own out of the fabric you were using. You know, you've got different options there. The maxi version, which is the version with the long sleeves, has got a slit up the front. And the sleeveless version looks like more of a midi length, and then it's got a lovely tiered sort of ruffled hem. So very, very pretty options on both of them. Very dramatic. I would go for the long sleeve maxi version in the fabric that I just showed you, that dramatic animal print fabric, and I think that would work brilliantly and have real wow factor. I can just imagine turning up to some sort of party or event in that and feeling really special. So yeah, that is the Beatrix maxi dress. The next one I want to talk to you about is the Florence Palazzo trousers, top and shorts. So this is a really interesting pattern with quite a few different options again. So there's two tops. It looks on the it's called a trouser suit, and I almost thought it was a jacket when I first looked at it. But what I realised is it's actually a wrap. It's like a wrap top. And there's two options. There's an option for a cropped version and the ties, you wrap it over and tie it, or there's an option for, it looks like it would come more to the waist, and then it's got a little collar on the waist, the longer version. The short version's got these lovely flutter sleeves, and then the long version has got a normal straight sleeve. And then it's also got darts from the waist up at the back, and then also the shoulder darts as well to give you a really good fit there. And then you've got options to make shorts or trousers to go with the wrap top jacket. Sort of, it's not a jacket, it is a wrap top, but it's a trouser suit, so it kind of can look like a jacket. But yeah, you've got options for shorts or trousers, both of which have got a wide yoke, which I think is quite flattering around the waist and kind of makes you feel quite held in, which I like. I've got a loose fit at the hip and a wide legs, and they've got pocket skies, which I know is always a winner for a lot of people. So again, there's a few different fabrics suggested here: cotton, silk, linen, light velvet. So you could have some fun in the winter making a velvet version. But the fabric I chose for this is this lovely cotton lawn fabric that we've recently had in. It's not a Liberty print, but it's very sort of similar to some of the Liberty prints. and I think that would work really well. I just love the contrast of this dark deep purple colour and that lime green against it. It's really vibrant and unusual, and I think that the top and trousers, I wouldn't personally be brave enough to wear the cropped top and the shorts, but the full trouser suit I think would look awesome made up in this. I think it would really be a very, very striking outfit. The next one I want to talk to you about is the Bertie shift dress. So this is a fairly simple shift dress, but with, again, some lovely little design features. So there's a front yoke, and it's gathered underneath the yoke. And then there's full length sleeves, which are gathered into nice deep cuffs again. I love a deep cuff, and I love that whole gathering at a cuff and volume in the sleeves. I just think it's a nice, interesting design detail. There's options for quite a dramatic stand-up collar, or you can finish the neckline with a bias trim and just have a normal sort of crew neck. And then it's zipped up, it's got a zip at the back and a hook and eye to fasten it at the back. The fabric I chose for this one was this lovely cotton lawn fabric, which has got a definite 70s vibe to it, a definite Liberty vibe. Again, it's not a Liberty fabric, but you know, a lot of the Liberties are these sort of florals and botanical inspired prints, so I thought this one would work really well. I just love the whole 70s vibe, the colour palette as well of that one I think is really lovely and unusual. So that's what I would choose for that pattern. And then we're on to the Bella Tea dress. So this is the one that comes in 2 size ranges that I told you about, so just watch out that you order the right size. This is a fit and flare dress, so it's got a fitted bodice and a skirt that flares out. Both versions have got, it's got a round neck, and then it's got gathers under the neckline and then a keyhole opening. There's an option for a Peter Pan collar, or you can have a necktie, and then there are bust darts that come from the side seams up to the bust. The sleeves look like, the short sleeves look like they're a slight puff sleeve, and then there's a side zip to fasten it, and then there's pocket and trim options as well, so you can have some visible patch pockets on the front. There's an option for that, and some suggestions for different trims that you can go for. So very much that whole sort of peasant dress vibe with this one. And the fabric I chose is this lovely linen viscose mix, which we got in recently. Just absolutely beautiful, a lovely weight, a lovely amount of movement and drape. It's a nice soft feeling linen as well. It's linen and viscose, that's probably why. So it's got that drape and movement, as you can see, but also, yes, it's got a lovely soft handle as well, because you know some linens, like 100% linens, can be a bit rough sometimes, or a bit more coarse. This one isn't like that. It's nice and soft, and it's got that lovely fluidity and movement, so I thought that would make a nice Bella Tea dress. And I just absolutely love this fabric. I love the colours. I don't know if you could get more colours in one fabric than this one. This is just right up my street. Anyone who knows me, I am all about the colour. So yeah, I thought that was super pretty and would make a nice version of that. And then we're on to the cute children's patterns, so you can have some real fun with these. I think these in particular, there are lots and lots of different views and options to play around, so probably quite a good investment. The ages go from 12 months to 4 years, so you could get a lot of mileage out of this pattern if you're making clothes for children. You know, obviously they do grow out of them quite quickly, so it's nice to know there's quite a few different options and a decent age range as well to this one. So the penny collar dress is a shift dress. There's options for sleeveless, short sleeved or long sleeved. The long sleeves and the short sleeves are gathered into elastic at the hem, And then there's options for pockets, patch pockets on the front. There's options for little neck bows at the neckline. There's an option for a Peter Pan collar, options for ruffle hems, and also a panelled option where there's just a panel across the bottom of the dress. So again, lots and lots of different ways you could play around with this and just make some really cute little dresses for those lovely little girls in your life. And there's a couple of fabrics that I chose for these ones. I'll show you the other children's pattern in a minute, but we've got this really cute viscose fabric, so it's 100% viscose, and it's got tiny little bunnies on it, so I know loads of little girls would love this, who would love this, and I thought this would be a good option for the little girl patterns. A nice small print as well, because they've only got little bodies, they're only little people, aren't they? So yeah, I think something a bit smaller and a bit more ditzy would be suitable for that. And then there's also the Mabel Thea dress. This is another children's pattern. Again, it goes from 6 months to 4 years. Not so many options with this one, but there's also the option for a cute little sun hat, which is lovely. I've got 2 boys, so I don't really ever make anything for them, which is really mean. I should do. But I just can't get that excited about boys' clothes. But the little girls' dresses and things, I just think, oh, you could have so much fun with these. So it's got an empire waist and a full skirt. There's options for a sleeveless version. There's options for like a flutter sleeve. And then there's sleeves with a ruffle hem. There's 3 different options for sleeves with different types of ruffle hem. And as I said, yeah, that lovely little sun hat as well. So yeah, you could have make some lovely little things there with that Mabel Thea dress. And either the rabbits that I just showed you, I thought they would be really cute, or we've got this poly cotton with the little birds on, which I thought would be quite nice as well. The print isn't too big on that. We've got some other lovely poly cottons as well, little pink and turquoise options with little white spots on. So yeah, lots of different things you could make those up in if you get on and have a look on the website. So I hope you've enjoyed that rundown today. I hope you found it inspiring seeing all the lovely new fabrics and that exciting new pattern range. As I mentioned at the start of the video, everything I talked about today is available on our site. You'll find the links to our site below. If you like what you see today, please like and subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.